And by doing that, it makes the building process a lot more fun for us and the customers. And there's a saying that we always say, we try to take the cuss out of customers.
Hey, what's up, family? I am Jules Cormier, your luxury realtor, your go to for custom homes. And I am here with a great builder, or shall I say, builders. They are Texas Signature Custom Homes and Stone Creek Custom Homes. So, without further ado, please introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
I'm Ryan Gale. I'm in business development, and I help our clients, design their floor plans.
Nice.
I'm Jason Gale. I'm one of the owners of Stone Creek and Texas Signature.
Blake Liebert. I'm the other owner of Texas Signature and Stone Creek Custom Homes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, first off, thank you guys so much for taking this time today. So I know that with every great builder, right, you all have a story. So tell me a little bit about what got you guys into building and what part of your upbringing kind of really facilitates that as well, made you want to become a builder.
So you're right. There is a personal story behind what everybody does, and Jason was kind of the driving force to start Stone Creek at the time,
Yeah.
and it was a more or less a personal kind of encounter that he had, and so I'm going to let him touch on that.
Yeah.
So if you want to fire away.
So probably 24, 25 years ago, I decided to have a custom home built and built it with a friend of mine. And I'll just say the process didn't go as smoothly as it could have.
Yes.
And so I thought if this is the way other builders are doing it, I know that we could do a lot better job. So we formed Stone Creek Custom Homes at the time in 2003, and we set out to change the way that communication and quality and processes happened, but hopefully make it a more enjoyable experience.
Nice. It's awesome.
And I started in the construction industry very early on in my youth. I started out as an electrician.
Still young.
Thank you. Even though looks are deceiving. But I started out at age 15 working for my uncle. He had an electrical contractor company. So I was wiring houses at a very young age, and through high school and college, and met up with Jason. And since I knew so much about construction, he knew so much about business, we linked up and started doing our own houses, and here we are today.
Wow. And how long ago? So you guys have been in business how long?
Since 2003, so that's 23 years.
Wow, that's a breadth of knowledge. Wow, that's awesome. So I know you guys are part of the team. Now, I would really want to know what other key players are there that's part of your team that kind of helps facilitate the build process?
I would say pretty much everyone in our office and in the company is a key player. I mean, you've got our office managers who go out and they get bids for us and things like that. Our site supervisors or superintendents, whatever you want to call them, site managers, they're the ones that are there, boots on the ground every day, looking for any mistakes, making sure the orders show up on time, making sure our subs are there on time and doing the job correctly. There's myself who is ensuring, along with Jason, that everything that our clients are wanting and needing make its way on the plans and in the specifications. And then you have Blake over there that's, basically overseeing, the site supervisors and site managers, making sure that everything's running smoothly from their end as well. So, I mean, I would say there's not a single person in the company that I wouldn't deem as crucial at any given point.
You guys kind of all work together. It's called like synergy in a sense. That's awesome.
Don't
That's
discount yourself, Ryan. We wouldn't be here without sales.
I didn't. I said, I was like, I would say I'm the most crucial part now.
That's funny. Now, you guys, I wish the camera could see this, but there's literally a deer in his driveway right now. I am not joking. That's crazy. Okay, sorry, that threw me completely off guard. But continuing on with the questions is, I want you guys to take me through the steps, right? So say I'm a client coming to you all looking to build a custom home. What are the steps from initial consultation to keys to having a beautiful home like this one? What are the steps?
So I'm going to take you through that just like a normal client would go through that. So step one is going to be myself. if you're the client, you call me and say, hey, Ryan, I really want to build a custom home. What's step one? And I say, well, step one, let's go find you a lot. Where do you want to be? And you say, hey, I want to be in this neighborhood here, Timberwood Park. So, okay, let's find you a lot. And I'm going to find you a couple lots. We're going to go look at them. You're going to say, well, I like these two. Which one would you go with out of these two? I'm going to say, let's shoot for that one. You say, boom, okay, let's go. And from there, we start kind of the floor plan design process. And so along that process, Jason's going to get involved too. And we're working back and forth with the designer to make sure we get the exact floor plan that you're looking for. And when we get that exactly dialed in, I'm going to insert Jason because basically this is about where he takes over.
So once we get the floor plan where the customer wants it, we do what we consider a ballpark quote.
Ballpark. Okay.
And it's our best educated guess as to what we think it's going to cost. And I say guess loosely. We're normally within 2% of what the end number ends up being. Sometimes
awesome.
we're a little bit high, sometimes we're a little bit low.
Got it.
But once the plans and the budget all match up and everyone's on the same page, then we proceed forward and finish up the floor plans. And from there, then it's on to contract time and start building.
Awesome.
Once we start building, that's really, or even before we start building, that's when Blake comes in and looks at the plans, and he's just got a gift for looking at that and just seeing how the home goes together. So he can see problems before they even become problems, and the way beams are, this isn't going to work. We need to change this up.
Yeah, you have to have a guy like Blake. That's awesome. Nice. So I know that for me, that sounds amazing, right? But I know for some clients, it may seem overwhelming, to be honest, right? So what would you guys say? How involved do you think a potential client would have to be in the home building process? And what do you guys do as far as communication to kind of alleviate that stress and keep the communication clear,
It's a great question. And, part of the benefit of being a client of ours is, again, I'm going to reference you as a client. You can be as involved or as uninvolved as you want to be in the process. I mean, we quite literally have clients that have built a house right next door to where they're living. So as you can imagine, they're super involved in the process. They're there walking through it every single day. And then we also have clients that, live in Maryland that are like, hey, y'all build the house. We don't want to worry about it. When we get here, we want to be, we'll walk through and be amazed at that time. Okay, great. As far as the communication goes, our site supervisors, superintendents, site managers. So those guys are going to be sending out weekly updates of the progress of the home to every one of our clients. And so that's going to include like, hey, this is what's going on with your house. This is what we did last week. Here are the pictures of that, so on and so forth.
Wow.
So we are very communicative. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, because there's not a lot of folks out there in this industry that can say that is, hey, we're going to be on top of it weekly. This is what we're doing. You're constantly going to be in the know. And by, being in the know, that takes a lot of that fear of not knowing and that stress away, because it's like, at any given point, you can pull up your email and be like, oh, this is what they're doing today. Cool.
That's awesome, man. I love how extensive that is, especially with clear communication is key, man. And one thing you noted earlier, one thing I also love about your team is that you guys also help find land, which not all builders do. I didn't know that initially, but that's two key things I think is really awesome, right? Now continuing on about clients, right? I know that you guys would love to help out any client build that perfect home for them. But my question for you all would be is what client is not a good fit for your company?
So, I mean, not everybody goes hand in hand. Every builder out there is interviewing the client just like the client is interviewing the builder. It needs to be a solid relationship. I mean, the way that we put it, you're married for the better part of a year, because it's that level of communication and, speaking back and forth. And Jason's got a really good saying with that. So I'll let you kind of.
Just I always say that it is a marriage, and I've been married to my wife for 28 years, and I don't like arguing with my wife, and I don't like arguing with clients. And so to avoid those arguments, we try to be as clear and upfront and get all those selections made before we start construction as possible, just to where there's no surprises, because that's nobody likes surprises. So we try to make sure that we've got all of our I's dotted and T's crossed before we even start construction.
So to kind of follow up on that, you know, before you get married, you know, before you marry your wife, you guys have the hard decisions up front. Hey, where do you want to live? How many kids do you want to have? So from a building standpoint, we try to have those hard conversations and decisions made up front, so nothing comes later on in the process and bites you. You know, just like if you didn't have that conversation with your spouse prior to getting married, that conversation can come and bite you later. So we definitely try to avoid that.
100%, man. That's awesome. I love the transparency. I guess continuing on with transparency part. I know you guys have been building for a while, since 2003, right? So there's definitely been some projects that did not go as planned. So I guess, guys, can you guys tell me a story of when a project did not go as planned, and more so, what did you guys learn from it?
So, I mean, in every build, because it's a custom build, something is not going to go as planned. I can almost assure you that nothing is just going to go 100% smoothly. You know, with a custom home, there's a million moving parts. One of them, huh?
It's never been
Right.
It's never been built before.
Right. So every home that we build is a one of a kind. So if you've never done it before, you're bound to run into some hardships along the way. So I think Jason or Blake would probably be better to talk on, you know, some of the hardships that we've encountered, because they're more on the construction side.
You have
I can't pinpoint one occurrence that just stands out to me because, like Ryan said and Jason said, we've never done the same house twice. So I can guarantee you every house has a flaw in it during construction, but that's why we have so many eyes dedicated to customer service and quality, that if the superintendents miss it, or even before that, the trades miss it, the superintendents are going to catch it. If the superintendents don't catch it, I'll catch it, or Jason will catch it, Ryan will catch it. We're all going through the house so often that it's bound to be caught, and we're going to learn from that mistake every
Man,
time.
that's awesome. Kind of military, they have this thing called like 2-person integrity, right? That sounds like 3 and 4-person integrity. So I love that, man. Multiple eyes on the project, making sure things are going smoothly. I love that, man. I really do. So piggybacking back to clients, my question for you all is, what would you say to a client? What would you say for a client would be like some non-negotiables to have when meeting with a builder, right? And what are some missteps that you've seen like clients take in the past that has caused like trouble?
So I can tell you like kind of our non-negotiables. So because we get this a lot, you know, we'll have clients come through. Everybody's got a specific budget. You know, that budget might not meet exactly where we are as a builder, because one of the places that we will never cut corners is on our construction material. Basically what you call the sticks and the bricks. We will never, ever, ever sacrifice the quality of a home to meet somebody's budget. If, I mean, that's the case, and that's where kind of goes along the question you were asking earlier. If that's the case, you know, we might not be the right builder for you. You might have to go, you know, find somebody that is willing to do that, because that is something that we're just not willing to do.
if we have to put our name on it, then we want to make sure that it's a test of time. One area that we can affect the price is on finish out. So instead of wood floors like this, maybe we do stained concrete. That's a little bit less expensive.
That makes sense.
Or instead of Viking appliances, maybe we look at a GE stainless package. Just so we can tweak the price with the finish out without sacrificing the framing, the foundation, the roofing, all those things that really matter, that's going to make that home stand the test of time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, man.
What was the second part of that question that you had asked?
What's some missteps that you guys seen like happen?
Yes. So the biggest misstep I can tell you that I've seen clients make is going to an architect on their own. So I see this all the time. they'll go and say, hey, I've got, this plan in my head of, my perfect house and my perfect layout. I want to take it directly to this architect. And they work directly back and forth with this architect for months and months and months. And they go, yes, I finally got it where I want it. And they bring it to us and say, hey, this is my, I'm going to use round numbers. I got a $1 million budget. Here's the plan that I came up with my architect. And we bid it out, and it's a $2.5 million house. Specifically because, right. And then you're back to square one. And it's like, oh, I got to go back to this architect, pay him more money, do this. Because that architect is not in construction. He does not know the cost of what he's designing. He's just doing exactly what you tell him to. I want wood beams up there. He has no idea what the cost of those wood beams are. We do. So my suggestion, and I tell people this all the time, before you get to architect stage, talk to a builder and work directly with that builder, either through your architect or through their architect, so they can kind of play middleman. And you say, hey, here's my $1 million budget. And you say, I want those beams. And so I can say, well, Jules, okay, so we're at $1 million. With those beams, that's going to push you over $2,000 over your budget. Are you cool with that? Yes or no? And so that.
And you iron out beforehand rather than come out of pocket twice by going to the architect.
Correct. Again, trying to have the difficult decisions up front, then having it bite you later.
Yeah. Wow. That's key. That's awesome, man. So I'm glad you're talking about like the building part of it too. So my question for you gentlemen is, if you guys were to build a home right now in this current climate of the housing market, right? What are some areas that you guys would not cut back in regards to making sure it's like, I guess, like more pricey? And what are some areas you could cut back in, like price wise, if you were to build now in today's market?
Sure. So kind of as Jason was mentioning earlier, some of the areas that you could cut would be the finish out of the home. So your countertops, your flooring, your lighting, things like that. But the areas that we won't ever cut is going to be the construction materials part of that. So your foundation, your insulation, your sheetrock, your stucco, your roof, foundation, things like that. Those are going to be key components, like he said, that we are able to put our name behind. So we've been in the construction and development industry our entire lives. Our father was, did that. And so our name is very important to us and it means something to us. So we're not going to mess that up.
Yeah.
We're not going to risk that by trying to save a couple bucks.
Yeah. And I would say if someone's looking to build a home and it's just a little bit more than they want to spend right now or they can afford, go ahead and get the floor plan the way they want. Like I was saying, you can do stained concrete because you can always come back and add tile or wood floor on top of that. Or maybe do some lesser expensive plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, stuff that's easy to change out after the fact to get it to be the home that you want after you've saved up a little bit more money in 4 or 5 years.
No, that makes sense.
I would say the same thing. Go ahead and build the house that you want, and then do some of the finish outs like accent walls, ceiling treatments, things like that. You can have like a $5,000 accent wall or expensive ceiling treatment, like these beams that are easy to put in after the fact.
Yeah.
That you don't want to, put up the expense for right away.
No, that makes 100%. That makes 100 makes sense 100%. That's really interesting, man. I'm thinking about like your beautiful home that you have right now, and hopefully get some B-roll footage of this. And I can tell you guys that they did not, or whoever is part of the build process did not take any shortcuts, which is truly what I love. I know we've asked a whole bunch about the build process and what you guys do, but now I want to know more about you guys as individuals. What do you guys do for fun? What do you guys do to like unplug outside of construction?
So, I mean, you know this, but we were raised kind of country bumpkins, and I'll be the first one to tell you, there's not a spot that's not red on the back of this neck, with that kind of thing. So I love, and he does too. I know we all love fishing and hunting and things like that. So that's, a lot of what I like to do. Go hang out with the kids, go to the lake, things like that. The things everybody pretty much likes to do for the most part.
What about you, gentlemen?
I'll say if it's outdoor related, I like to do it. I fish, I hunt, I'm a pilot. I fly airplanes, I scuba dive, I shoot archery. I love it all. I've been a pilot for 25 years now.
You just do it all, don't you, man? This is making us all jealous, you know. Nah, that's awesome.
Been a certified scuba diver since I was 15 years old. So I just love anything that gets me outdoors in nature.
Man, that's awesome. It sounds like a lot of adrenaline rush too, man, which is I am one for that. So that's
He's
awesome.
living.
Yes.
I would say the same thing. Anything outdoors, fishing, flying, ranching, farming, all that as well.
And
Hunting.
that's the fun part about us is we don't just work together. We play together. We'll go fishing together.
Work hard, play hard.
And that's exactly it. We live that motto.
I draw the line at the scuba diving.
He doesn't.
Yeah, no, he can scuba dive all he wants. You know, I'm not going to go swimming with a perfectly good shark. You can count me out.
Perfectly good shark.
Just like you won't catch me jumping out of a perfectly good airplane either.
That's funny. That's awesome. Okay, last question for you guys. From the looks of it, you guys are a phenomenal builder. My question for you would be is, what makes you guys stand out from other builders? If I'm a client looking to choose a builder, what would you say is what differentiates you guys from other builders?
So there's a couple. There are quite a few things, honestly. So one, I would say the most important is our integrity. So we're not going to waver in that. You know, we were all raised by the golden rule. You know, treat others the way that you would like to be treated, and we live by that. And that's the reason this company started, is because he was treated a certain way, and he said, you know what, I can do this 1,000 times better. And here we are doing it 1,000 times better right now, and which has led to where we are right now. Integrity, communication would be another one, as we had kind of mentioned earlier. We're always going to answer the phone when you call, when anybody calls. If there's any kind of trouble, we're, like I said, talking weekly with every client about every stage of construction. So nobody's ever kept in the dark about what's going on with their house.
That's awesome, man.
A custom home can seem overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so in the past, we would start the home, have customers still making selections. And what we figured out is we're adding stress on top of stress, because building a custom home is already stressful enough.
100%.
And so one of the things that we do now is we have the customer make all those selections up front before we even start building. So the stress level's down. It's a fun process, and we get accurate pricing, so it alleviates change orders. So no one wants to hear, hey, I've got to give you a change order. So we try to alleviate that at all costs to make it a fun process. And so by doing that, we're taking little bites at the apple instead of trying to eat the apple all in one bite. And by doing that, it makes the building process a lot more fun for us and the customers. And there's a saying that we always say, we try to take the cuss out of custom. And by taking little bites at the apple, it doesn't become overwhelming. We're not adding stress on top of stress. It's a fun process for us and homeowners. I would say that we always put ourselves in the customer's shoes. And we think, if we were them, how would we want to be treated? What could we do better? And so we welcome feedback on how we can improve. Perfect example is this home we built not quite 3 years ago is when we moved in. But the way that we built this home is completely different than the way that we build homes now, because we're constantly learning and trying to improve. And we're thinking, we're always adapting. New products come out. We're like, so how can we make this better? We live and breathe construction, and I hate to say it, but we kind of geek out on it. And we're always looking at better ways to improve and get better. Because if someone's going to build a home with us, that's a level of trust that we can't betray. Because for most people, a home is going to be the single largest investment they're ever going to make. And so if they're going to put that trust in us, then we want to make sure that we fulfill that trust and we deliver them a quality product. And we maintain our name and reputation behind that as well.
That's awesome. Quality.
That's mostly this guy right here. We do, but he just sees stuff that, perfect example, building this house. I've been doing it a long time. He comes in and says, that's not going to work. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's fine. He's like, no, by the time you had half inch of sheetrock and you have your trim on there, the plate for your light switch is probably going to be a 1/4 inch inside that. And you're going to have to either notch the trim or you can go ahead and move it over 1/4 inch right now. I break out a tape measure. Sure enough, he's right. I'm like, how do you see that? He's like, I do it all day, every day. So he catches problems before they become problems.
You gotta have a Blake, man.
He's our
you gotta
daily
have
dose
it.
of making us feel dumb every day. It's great.
Man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
but that being said, like there's still issues that we miss. As proactive as we are, there's still issues, and so you want to find a builder that stands behind their word and treats you the way that you would expect to be treated. And if we didn't catch that, we're not going to go and say, "Hey, customer, we're going to change order you for this."
Yeah.
No, we could have been a little bit more proactive on that and caught that. We're going to go ahead and make it right for you because Blake's saying is if I wouldn't live with it in my home, I wouldn't expect you to live with it in your home. And we're both pretty picky when it comes to that.
Find a builder that isn't afraid to admit that they made a mistake.
Right.
But as long as they stand behind that mistake and make it right for the customer, I think that's what matters.
Dang, that's so crucial, man. We got dang. I said it was the last question, but man, that's such a crucial part because I know being in the business, there's so many people that like they make a mistake, cover it up, let's have them get to closing. I'm really glad that you said that, man.
You hit the nail on the head there by covering it up. So the one thing that we do is we're relying on the trades to get it right the first time. They don't get it right 100% of the time. So then we're relying on the superintendents, but then maybe they miss stuff because there's a lot that goes into a home. So before we insulate and then next comes sheetrock, we call that the point of no return. So before that happens, me, Blake, Ryan, the superintendents, we're all walking it, looking at the plans, making sure that we got everything in there. And on top of that, we hire a third-party inspector to where he comes in just to make sure we didn't miss something.
So what did you call it? 2-person integrity in the
Yes,
military?
exactly.
We have like 10-person integrity.
Exactly, yeah. Man, that's awesome because you guys build it yourself. You guys are already double checking everything. Then you have an inspector to come check you on what you already checked.
And not one of our inspectors. We hire this guy to catch stuff.
Yeah.
To like say, hey, you guys did this wrong. That's the inspector we want. Not the inspector that we get all the time that we pay, building inspectors that are like, oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, we pay this guy to say, yeah, y'all messed that up. You should probably fix that.
That's awesome, man. So I heard integrity, communication, quality, attention to detail, and also getting a builder that's not afraid to say when he messed up. Man, that's some awesome core qualities in a builder. So guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This was a great interview. So again, thank you. And please, all the information will be in the bio. So please check them out. Check out their websites. And please, if you are in the market for buying a custom home, check these gentlemen out.